All right, bro, I got a question.
All
What
right.
are your top 3 underrated K-Dot/Kendrick Lamar / Kung Fu Kenny verses to date?
Top 3 most underrated Kendrick Lamar verses. Let's get deep in the bag. Number 3, I'm going to go with his verse on Collard Greens with
Ooh.
Schoolboy Q. Now, this is a throwback. It's a throwback. I think this song's like almost a decade old by now. But he has this whole section where he raps in Spanish. And I just thought just the way that he floated over the beat the whole way, it was just so unpredictable but so tasteful at the same time.
He speak Spanish?
He speak Spanish? Nala cumpla.
I ain't say a word.
Nah,
That's tight.
yeah, translation. Yeah. Anyway, that verse goes crazy. I love that whole energy of that track. It was one of my favorites when I heard it, but I think that's probably one that a lot of people forgot about. Number 2, I'm gonna go with Mama off of To Pimp a Butterfly. And I think this one to me is a really, really nice conceptual record. And so he's rapping basically about, you know, the fact that he like has learned all these things since he's gotten famous. You know, he's been studying and his whole like second verse is like, I know everything. I know this. I know that this works this way. I know that this works this way. You know what I'm saying? I know about science, religion. I know all, you know what I'm saying? And then he gets to the point where he comes to head at the end of that verse, and he's like, until I came home and realized I didn't know shit. And then the third verse is him having a conversation with a younger kid in his community that he's from, and basically the kid's like, look, like you got a choice right now. You can listen to me. You can listen to me and let me tell you about what's really happening in this community you used to live in that you have been out of touch with, or you can just double down and think you're correct or whatever. And but then he goes on, the kid's sort of walking him through what the reality of the situation looks like. And then Kendrick has a realization. He's like, okay, I need to make sure I keep in touch with these roots. Like, I don't want to lose myself to the fame and the perspective of feeling like I know everything and being disconnected from like their average everyday struggles of people in his community. So I thought that was a really overlooked record on To Pimp a Butterfly. Yeah, so that's my number 2.
Okay.
My number 1 is going to be Kendrick Lamar's verse on Deep Water with Dr. Dre.
You showed me this one.
Yeah. Now, the Dr. Dre, this is one of my favorite Kendrick verses. It's ridiculous. There's a part where he's like, shit. I don't give a fuck about your whereabouts. All I care about is wearing out your area, airing out your upper body when I catch you walking at your parents' house. Don't get fucked up. No, homie got fucked up. Like, it's crazy, bro.
Oof.
Like, just his lyrical ability and how he just maneuvers through this record is so crazy. And then you have the Dr. Dre production and mixing and stuff that's going into it, where you're getting all these like interesting soundscapes. And also there's a lot of vocal versatility from Kendrick.
Yeah.
Which that's one of my favorite things that I look for in artists is vocal versatility, because you are a musician with your voice. Your voice is your instrument.
Right.
And I feel like if you are talented, then you have the ability to manipulate your instrument in ways that, like in a variety of ways.
Right.
You know, I would say you have, like, you take guitar, for example, you have guitar players who can only play one style, and they might be able to play that style really, really well. But that's not as impressive to me as somebody who can innovate new ways to play the guitar. And I feel like most of your greats throughout history, you look at Jimi Hendrix, you look at, you know, somebody like Slash, or Greg, what's the Polyphia guy? What's his name? Guitar player?
Tim Henson.
Maybe it's Tim Henson. These guys are all like innovating how guitar is played, and so that to me is like, and I think Kendrick really embodies that. In addition to having all the other skills as a rapper. Those are the top 3 most underrated.
Those are some good ones.
Yeah, if you haven't heard those, go check them out. Go gain a little deeper appreciation for Kendrick, especially if you're a Kendrick fan and you maybe revisit them. Maybe you heard it once and you're like, I don't remember that being that dope. Go check them out.
Yeah, baby, need top 5 when I'm done going mental. Yeah, I'm locked in, you can peep my condition, man, the lab all winter. All summer, yeah, I went dumb, now I'm about to go dumb and throwing way more